X Space. So we're live for the first time in about a couple of weeks. Been retooling the newsholder.com platform, trying to get everything up to par on it, doing some different things, and that's been really, really busy. Been doing a lot of different things behind the scenes as well, too. So I was anxious to go ahead and try to get back. We'll have a space tomorrow night as well, too. But like I said, tonight, Arthur, he's a special guest speaker, but that doesn't mean that anybody that's in the listener section, if you guys want to come up and speak and ask any questions, you have any questions, you want to find any information, now is your time to go ahead and ask Arthur while he's up in here. I just say everybody, stay on your microphones when somebody's speaking, and I try to be as respectful as possible as well too. And I'm pretty sure everybody will be that way for the most part anyway. So Arthur, what's going on? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Wonderful day. I'm glad to be here with everybody. So to explain the Freedmen Reparations Fund Trust, I think it's a little bit different than what people are thinking. And I think it's going to take a lot of people time to really grasp it because it makes you think differently than what we think right now. So it's going to, hopefully I'll be able to explain it to the point where you walk away and be like, why haven't we done this, right after slavery? Of course, our people didn't have a chance, so we're getting beaten down after slavery. So, but this right here is true redemption for our ancestors. So, I hope I can explain it perfectly for everybody. For people who don't understand, after they can DM me. I'm open to any questions. I'm open to any criticism. That's a part of the process. I understand that.
Yes, sir. Now, Arthur, when was the actual fund, the actual trust? When was this created?
It was created on March 6th.
Okay, so this is something you just created then.
Yes, I created it March 6th, but it was all being grafted for at least 6 or 7 months prior to that. To get us ready for the launch of the website. I had to get everything in order before the launch because you can't just do a launch on the website without having all your ducks in a row.
Yes, sir. Okay, and Arthur, you're going to be explaining it to the room, and you can also be explaining it to me too as well too, because I'm going to be honest, I just heard about it recently. To be honest, so I don't know much about it. And I would like to get educated on it as much as possible as well too. So not just the actual listeners in the actual space as well too, but I'd like to get educated and learn something as well too, because I don't know much about it. I just heard, of course you hear from different people have different opinions on it, but I figure, hey, you're the man behind it, so who would be better to ask about it than you. So if you don't mind, just for everybody, and I see my co-host in here, DJ, let me check with him first. DJ, what's going on? How's your audio tonight?
Everything's good. Shout out to the room. News Total, share the room, y'all. Arthur, what's going on?
How you doing, buddy?
Okay, so like I say, Arthur, I don't know much about it. So I want to get educated. I want to learn about it as well too. So if you don't mind, I don't mind saying, hey, when it's something I don't know, I'm ignorant on the topic. So please, enlighten me, educate me as well too. I want to learn. We got people on YouTube, all my people over there on YouTube. Shout out to my girl Brooke. And Reps, I see you over there as well too. But Brooke, it's been a minute since I seen you, sister. I see Secret Sister up in the space as well too, and a bunch of you guys up in here as well too. So shout out to some of our regulars and shout out to some of our people I hadn't seen in a while. What's up, Cash? What's up, Miss T? What's up, Nappy? What's up, Chris? What's up with all you guys? Arthur, he's going to be breaking down tonight. He's going to be talking about the Freedmen Reparations Fund Trust. I want we'll let Arthur go and speak. And anybody that's in the comment section, listener section, comment section, if you guys have any questions, feel free to come on up here and ask as well too. The space starting a little bit later than we normally, we do 8 o'clock, but Arthur's on a different time zone, Central time zone. I'm on Eastern time zone. So we had to try to go ahead and meet halfway. And I want to thank him for participating in the actual broadcast space tonight as well too. So Arthur, if you don't mind, kind of just give us a rundown on what it's about and everything that you can that you may think that's helpful to explain it to us and to everybody who hasn't actually heard about it, because like you say, it's actually fairly new. You said that it was December 6th. I'm sorry, March 6th is when you actually created it. So, just give us a rundown. Let us know what it's about, what it's going to do, how it's beneficial to the freedmen and the country as well too, and just what can we learn about it. Let us know anything that you can share with the people up in. And shout out, I see my sister Miss Trouble up in here as well too. So shout out to that sister. But Arthur, you got the floor. We gonna kick back and let you do your thing.
Okay. Well, I'm first want to give my props out to been educated on what Freedmen is. Now I give that to Naheem and Ali, although we're not on the same speaking terms right now as far as that part, but I have to give it to them for their education. For me, learning something that my family has always been a part of, and I didn't know until I got educated by those guys. So I had to give it to those guys. So that education turned into me developing, seeing how our people get their rights entangled up and disrespected and all that. So I started the American Freedmen Legal Fund. That was my first dive into it. So when I did the American Freedmen Legal Fund, of course, I interacted a lot online. I could see all the documents and see all the updates and all the letters that have been sent and all that certified. We have made some leave. We have got a lot of wins. We get some ignoring. People ignore me, but people have to understand is that when you're in a process, it may take a couple days. It may take 6 months before I get everything done with each project I'm working on with the American Freedmen Legal Fund. So that's one part of that. So then I looked at how the American Freedmen Legal Fund could be expanded. What else can it do for the people other than me working with issues, across the country and dealing with companies, dealing with individuals. So I thought about, because I had Freedmen Nation registered for almost 2 years. I didn't do anything on it because the intention was with Freedmen Nation was preservation, history preservation, all the historical markers that we have across the nation with freedmen. So then I started looking at everything and started developing a business strategy with it. So it's okay. How can I combine American Freedmen Legal Fund, Freedmen Nation, and something else has to be involved to protect what I'm doing. So then, I came across, after doing a lot of research, came across trust. And there's different types of trust. So what I said was a private irrevocable trust. And in that trust, I could actually put freedmen as the beneficiaries. The freedmen, the beneficiaries is part of that trust. So if anything goes into the trust, it is the beneficiaries. So I was okay, that will work. So then I came up with did some more research. How can I make the nation, that they could be actually do work privately? So then I came across the Private Membership Association, and a lot of like the tribes use it. Different organizations use it. So I was okay. If I could do that, that'd be great. So Freedmen is race neutral. Freedmen Nation is the foundation. The American Freedmen Legal Fund is the protection of those pieces, and the Freedmen Reparations Fund Trust is the economic engine. So you put all those together, it puts us in a position with our historical status, because it's not race-based, it can't be shut down. So then as I put everything together, the key features of it is that the Private Reparations Fund is an independent managed fund fund providing direct financial support to verified Freedmen members. So the genealogy work that's going to be done, that you have to submit and to be verified, is on our website. Of course, I would be inviting people who have already donated to the American Freedmen Legal Fund. Those are going to be the first people who actually get into the site. So I just wanted to start there. But basically, the trust is going to be acquiring land, and it's going to be protected under the American Freedmen Legal Fund. You're going to be securing government transfers, private purchases, community-based ownership, ensuring it remains in the Freedmen hands. So there's going to be a restriction on the land, that we have first right refusal on the land, so that land is not sold out to other people other than Freedmen. So the economic empowerment part is the funds Freedmen's own businesses, entrepreneurship, and then cooperative economic ventures. So there's going to be businesses underneath the trust that actually going to be putting the profit back into the trust. Plus, there may be partnership investments with people who actually want to start a business. So we actually partner with that person to start a business as part of the trust. Plus, with all the work groups that's going to be under the trust, those work groups could actually spin off into a company, which that helps us build part of our economics under Freedmen Nation. And then, of course, from there, you got the legal advocacy support. The American Freedmen Legal Fund fights for Freedmen rights, protect assets, and challenges unjust policies. What people don't understand is that the way I set it up, the government can't interfere into our business. They see us as almost like a sovereign nation in some ways. How we actually create our own policies within the nation. We're actually creating our own governance. So there's going to be boards. There's going to be oversight, transparency, where you can see what's in the trust at the moment. If there's 50 million, if there's 100 million, or if there's 300 million, you'll be able to see what's there. You also be able to see what's land available, that if you decide that you want to move and get from where you're at. If it's land that we have down south, you can go there. You can set up everything where you can build on that land. It's going to be all there available. Have people transfer cars into the trust. You know what cars, we're going to most likely end up doing lotteries on cars because we may have cars for the trust to do the work, but there's going to probably be people out there doing land work, developing land, and also farms. That's maybe under the trust. People may want to get into farming. That's really up to you. So those pieces there is going to be also under the trust. Now, the hot button here recently has been about reparations distribution. The government cannot transfer money into the trust. Okay, they cannot. That's because that would make us a public trust. So we're a private trust. So they can hold the money. We can help them manage and help them with distribution, because most of everybody that's verified on Freedmen Nation, they would have first dibs on it because they're already verified. It may take if you're not verified under Freedmen Nation, it may take a little bit longer. The goal is to get the population at a level where we have a lot more leverage, and that right there will secure us with more I would say control how reparations distributed from the government. So on our side, on our private side, y'all going to get reparations payments monthly or quarterly from the private side. There's going to be some advocacy on through the trust, actually from Freedmen Nation, with different nonprofit organizations trying to get these local and state governments to actually put a budget for the next year to fund, to say, not to say fund the trust, but put it in a position where we can actually distribute the money to our verified members and people who are not verified. You have an opportunity to either opt in. I took the suggestion of the last meeting that someone talked about. You have a position to opt in. If you opt in, it means that the money that you opt in goes into the trust, because it's individual opted in, then to the trust. But if you don't, that's going to be between you and the government, how they distribute that money to you. Yeah, so that's going to be the only difference there. So, like I said, you have to give permission for it to go into the trust. I can't just take your money. So I just wanted to let you know that right there. I want to make sure I clear that up. Now, as far as the protections, the intellectual under the trust, the intellectual property and business protections, the Freedmen is going to allow entrepreneurs, artists, inventors by securing patents, trademarks, business interests under the trust ownership. That, for example, if there is if you're an artist and you're trying to protect your copyrights, and there's a record company that's going after, you could instantly put it into the trust to protect it, and then we fight that record label. So you're not fighting it by yourself. We're fighting it with you. So it could be audio, your podcast. Your podcast, you've been sued on your podcast. You transfer the podcast into the trust, and then the American Freedmen Legal Fund will fight that whoever is trying to invoke on your encroach on your copyright of your podcast. So there's many different ways to make that work. So not too many companies do that. They that's the reason why we consider the collective. So that's how that part works. Eminent domain resistance offers legal defense, emergency land transfers, and permanent land protections for freedmen facing government land seizures. We've been having a lot of that in our history. I'm working with a family now in Georgia that's having trouble with that. So that would be emergency land transfer into the trust. And then after the threat is gone, that land goes back to that person with a deed restriction. That deed restriction is that you don't sell it outside of the Freedmen economics. You keep it within the Freedmen economics. Someone wants to buy some land, and Freedmen Nation see that the land is available. That land has first right refusal for people who wants to buy that land within Freedmen. So that's how that part works. We're going to have Apple IDs, a system for so you can actually show that you have an ID with Freedmen Nation, because we're treating this like we're on government. So someone said if they want to see verified that you're verified, they see your ID. It could be in your app. It'll be in your Apple Wallet. The other part of that is that I'll talk about that a little bit later about the business side of it, because there's going to be a business map. Once you're a verified member, you can add your business to the mapping. So then when people comes to the website, the reason why I put the Freedmen historical markers and then put the business on the same mapping, because there's going to be a lot of kids being educated on all those historical markers. But I also want people who's going there a lot, looking at those, also looking at the businesses at the same time so they can support them. I kind of combine that together, especially the entertainment side of it, because you'll be able to also look at a this agenda schedule of all the trail rides that we keep on missing because no one knows about them. And Freedmen concerts, you'll be able to see that through that as well. You also be able to see different speakers and things like that. You'll be able to see the whole complete schedule there. So because all the information will be provided by Freedmen. So then that's now to get back to the Apple side of it now. it's going to help with tracking and land ownerships with those IDs. Now, there is 6 months, because the 6 months after Freedmen Nation launches, the boards are going to be putting together the Freedmen Nation Super PAC. So the Freedmen Nation Super PAC is going to actually be advocating, lobbying for Freedmen Nation, for our verified members. The Super PAC will also be putting our own people into political positions for our own people. But it's going to be running independent of Freedmen Nation. That means that only thing we have influence over is from the trust side of it. That's how they operate the PAC and who is running the PAC. We have influence over the PAC through through an agreement. So the PAC is going to be there, and I hope that we get some really good people running the PAC, because I have to sit. I'm really close to getting it set up. I just need to make sure that people are in the right position to come aboard to run the PAC, because it's that part of it is huge for us to make sure we actually have freedmen on both sides of the aisle, including the Democrat and the Republican. I'm not stuck on any party. I want to make sure that if we put a bill up there, it goes through, because we have representation on both sides. So I don't see a reason to name bag both parties, because both parties have been bad to us. That's why I look at it. So now on that's on the Freedmen. We're gonna be focused on local, state and local, federal candidates that actually lobby for us. So now another part of the revenue stream for the trust is the sponsorship and revenue growth. Implements is going to be sponsored donor advertising on Freedmen Nation. Because the population, you know how advertisers do. If the population's there, they want to be there too. So they would become a sponsored donor to the website, and they would actually drive revenue into the trust for us to pay out reparations. Now, the good thing about that is that we have control of who we want involved. Plus, they know very well. We go to them and say, "Look, we don't like this TV show. It makes us freemen look really, really bad. But you want to advertise on our website to our people, and at the same time, so we're going to have some leverage there, because they like the dollars that are coming from us, but we're not going to let them tear us down at the same time. So that's the motive of making sure that they stay in a good standing with us, because if our population gets to 1 million, 2 million of our population, the way it's going to be calculated is that when you sign up, you're also going to be putting your kids down there too, because the calculation from the board is going to include your kids in that reparations. So if we funding reparations starting in 2026, they need to know how many kids you have, not just seeing you based on one person. That would make no sense. So we need to know how many kids you have. If they're under age 18, they would actually get pieces of the reparations that's coming from the trust. And plus, whatever we do on the outside of that from the state and local government, you're going to receive that money properly, and that money from the government. So you're going to get it from both sides. So I'm just going to tell you the way things have always been for other people except for us, because our family's been here for more than 10 to 12 generations. When these immigrants come to the United States, they actually have two countries taking care of them. They have the country they came from, and they have the country, the U.S. government. The way Freedmen Nation is set up is your other country, okay? Is your other country that's giving you support in its own fashion, its own structures, and then the United States is giving you support at the same time. So we're gonna be double dipping, just like the Indians do, the Indian tribes do, just like when you think about it, the Chinatowns, they double dip. They got a whole economic system just for them, and you don't see any freemen in Chinatown. It's not going to happen. So, but they got that plus what the U.S. government's doing for them. And then if you look at the situation where all these Mexican restaurants are popping up everywhere, because I've been seeing nothing but them popping up just about everywhere. We have to create an economic system where some of our better chefs are people who got who's starting off a franchise in the food industry. We very well make that franchise part of the trust, so then you can go ahead and just open up a franchise without any issue. Another big part of that, I'm fighting to get the Freedmen's Bank back under, to actually put them under the trust. But someone made a suggestion, I think it was the greatest suggestion, is to start off with a Freedmen the credit union, because it makes no sense to actually have all this land that we're going to be acquiring, and there's no one. We don't want outsiders mortgaging these houses. We want to make sure there's a bank that we own mortgage the houses that you're trying to build. So, but this is the biggest piece of that, other than just the reparation side of it, is creating an economic system that actually takes care of us instead of us leaning on other people to take care of us. Because we already know that we pull ourselves by our own nose, thinking that these people who's coming here from these other countries are going to take care of us. They're not. They come here to take care of themselves. They come here to take care of their own groups. They come here to send money to their own countries. They come here to be politicians and take from us. And we have to position ourselves better strategically to take care of us first. So now the Freeman Nation, the trust doesn't trump nonprofits. I'm just going to put that there. The nonprofits run under the IRS direction. Our goal is not to put a hindrance on nonprofits, but we're going to be in a position where we can do grants to the nonprofits and partner with the nonprofits, because we're going to have a lot more money going through our trust to get what we want for advocacy with those nonprofits. And then also, if there's nonprofits that's in our community, for example, in a poorest community that needs food banks and all that, the trust can fund those nonprofits to make sure those shelves are full for our people. So that's the other part of that. So there's that part. I hope that people now understand how this works. Now, the biggest uproar that people were concerned about is Arthur is the grantor of the trust, truster of the trust, and trustee of the trust, and then my family here is the trustees. I set it up that way because I don't know anybody else, and I can trust them at the moment. But in the future, as we continue to grow, because I am going to get older, someone is going to have to step up and become eventually the grantor and trustee of the trust. It's not going to be in my hands forever. So, but I got to make sure we have a strong trustee, because if not, then we will have problems.
Real quick, Arthur, I want to ask you something, and not to cut you off, but I want to just ask you real quick. Have you reached out to any of the other Freedmen organizations around the country, just to see if you could go ahead and collaborate with them, and maybe you guys can work together in terms of trying to build this trust up, and maybe having some of them on the board if possible? Is that something that you researched and you looked into, or something that you may potentially do down the road?
I'm just going to be quite honest with you. I've been in at least one or two, like we put together a group, and we probably start doing something, then it breaks up. I'm a person who likes to move and not get permission, just move and get the job done. And sometimes some people could be a handicap, or having a lot of people having a lot of people in and trying to do the same thing. Too many cooks in the kitchen makes it fall apart. So I want to build it first, and then the nonprofits can come in, and then we can collaborate under the workshops. Because if I start off the way I did with trying to collaborate with someone, waiting for a phone call, trying to set up this meeting here, and getting it in, and the next thing you know, we fall out. There's spaces everywhere about who's done what, who's done this. I've seen that too many times. This person collaborated with this person that collaborated with that person. That right there, I wouldn't have got anything done. Because it makes no sense that we're actually in this position now, that we're fighting at the bottom. We should be fighting at the top. And I don't understand that that's the position our government put us in. I don't blame our own people. I blame the government for putting us in that position. But they know that's going to make them stronger financially if we're fighting at the bottom. I don't have I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not mad at the people who recently tried to tell me that I was scamming people, grifting, whatsoever. You know what? I've been in business for a long time. Even my competitors say that said a lot of bad things about me too. But at the end of the day, I am a competitor to the system, and people are going to see that in me. But the thing is, I'd rather be a stronger competitor for our people versus being a competitor within our people. I don't see the benefit of that, because then I got to tear down our own people to get to the top. I'd rather tear down those outside of our people to get to the top, so then it brings up all of us. It makes no sense to fight within ourselves and tear ourselves down, because people are emotional people. Our people are very emotional. We've been beaten down often, every day, because of our system. And we're beating each other down more inside of our system. It makes no sense to me. So I want to lift us up out of this situation that we're in to get us in a better position. Because if we're not in a better position, our kids are going to be 10 years, 15 years, or 30 years down the road with the same problem, because we just can't discipline ourselves not to fight each other. We have no reason to fight each other. I really don't understand that. We're good people. When people come into our community, we give our last dollar to these people. But at the end of the day, we have nothing. We shouldn't be in that position all the time. So I am the grantor and trustee of it. But this is not going to make me rich. People's first thing say, "Oh, they're going to make you rich." That's your money. Those are your assets, not mine. It's yours. So if people got that thought that that's where it's going to end up, no. In that case, I should go start something else. But I feel that this is the opportunity for our people to actually get in a better position 10 to 15, 20, 30 years from now. But I always said that 2050, we're going to be with no wealth. No, we got to change that trajectory now. So then our kids are not still at the bottom and everything. So there's going to be so many different opportunities within the workshops, the work groups, to build something for our kids, not something that it can tear our kids down, because our kids are our future. It's not me. It's not you in this room. It's our kids. Those little ones that's running around your house right now. Or you're the ones who's about to get married, because or your grandbabies who's just learning the system and learning how awful people are to us. So I don't want to build something that would tear us down. I want to build something that would actually uplift all of us. So that's the reason why I started doing the American Freedmen Legal Fund, because I saw so much disrespect. I saw especially the MAK thing. I see that as our people. MAK is our people. He shouldn't be disrespected like this by these immigrants. So, the way I got the trust set up right now.
Arthur, real quick, I just want to see if anybody wants to come up real quick, and then I'll let you get back. If anybody wants to come up and speak, Cash, I know you up here. DJ, you got your hand up real quick. And anybody else, just want to give people a chance if they want to come up here and speak and ask you a question about the actual the trust, then I want to go ahead and give people a chance. So you guys, if you want to come up here and speak, raise your hands. We'll get you up here. I know Arthur right now, he's just kind of summarizing, letting everybody know exactly what it's about. But I want to give people a chance to come up here and speak and ask questions as well too. Just be respectful, guys. Don't cut anybody off when they're speaking. Get your hands up and we'll get to you. Okay, I see Hilda's got her hand up. DJ, did you want to go? I know you had your hand up first. You want to go?
Yeah, I just want to say just real quick, shout out to Arthur right here for doing the work. Shout out to the room, everybody up in here. Make sure y'all reshare the room. Come over on the Screw too. We'll streaming live over there and on Funded Socially. But get in the Jumbotron and look at all the information on the freemannation.org, freemannation.org that Arthur is speaking about. So if you want more information, make sure you follow Arthur and go to his page and hit his link tree and support his business too. Everybody need a pillow to sleep on, but go ahead though.
All right. Let me go ahead and get to I'm gonna get to Hilda, and I got you, Cash, next as well too. Hilda, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, and yourself, News Tada? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, sister.
That's great. Nice to hear. How you doing, DJ? And I'm Professor, and peace to the space.
Mm-hmm.
My question is for Arthur, of course. I just wanted to know, with this trust that you created, how does that work if there's supposed to be like a Freedmen agency? For example, if California was to actually get the Freedmen agency, how does that work with the Freedmen agency and your trust fund?
It's a supplement. It doesn't take over the Freedmen agency, but it gives us more leverage just in case they want to put some immigrants that try to get immigrants in those positions. We got to be a nation of people who can actually support it and also use it as leverage, because you don't want right now they see us in a position of weakness. The reason why we're asking for it. We got to be in a position of strength and say that, with our pack, if you put anyone in there that's not us, we're going to put someone against you, plus the people who actually, for example, the people who actually set it up. And if they, for example, if there's a new governor that comes along, and that governor is taking care of making sure there is nothing but freedmen inside of those affairs, we want to make sure that government stay in power, so that there's no change in hands to make sure we can get things done for those 4 years to where they're there. They got to be there for 8 years to make sure we keep a grip on it. Because as soon as another governor comes in there, they're gonna be trying to do good for their constituents. For people who donated more to their campaigns. They're gonna end up putting the freaking immigrant in there to run it, because that came from that particular group. That's how the caucus got taken over. We just have not been in the position of strength to make sure we maintain our own power within the government. And no, this is a supplement. That's all it is.
Okay, thank you for answering my question.
Welcome.
All right, thank you, Hilda. Let me go ahead and get to Cash. Cash, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, peace, News Starter. What's good to the co-host?
Hey, what's up now?
Arthur, before I make a quick submission, would you mind if you just answer a question for the room to clarify? Your Freedmen Reparations Fund is not meant to step in as another middleman to prevent us from getting direct cash payment reparations, right?
That's correct.
All right, thank you for clarifying that again. I just want to make sure that people hear that as many times as possible. I think that was the original reason that you kind of went viral, or at least from my understanding, the way I was listening to it. And you've mentioned opt-in multiple times in this conversation, so I just wanted to make sure that I was understanding you correctly.
Yeah. We want to be in the position where we're using our own leverage to put a reparation dollar on the budget without them having to create reparation laws, because that would take forever. So by putting that number in there, just for a local city, we asked them to put $20 million into the budget. Freedom, the verified Freedmen would know that money's there first before anybody else. That's the whole goal. And then at that point, when they start to distribute the money, then y'all can opt in or receive that money directly. But there got to be a mechanism that they know who you are. So I hope that a lot of you are verified, so then we can give them that list of people that needs to be paid that money.
And thank you for that. So first thing is, when I've had a lot of spaces as a reparationist about our 40 acres claim, a lot of Black Americans have told me that they don't trust where white folks will be allocating the lands at, and that they would prefer to have it in cash payments. I was worried because I've mentioned multiple times that California is selling land to Chinese billionaires. That's right. I think that it should be American land should be owned by Americans. I've actually been to buildings that are owned in a community land trust behind the theater that I was hired to perform at. So I've seen that buildings can be communally owned. And I thought that it would be safer for our community, to have a quote unquote Freedmen Nation, or, at least a communal trust where we could sell our 40 acres back to at fair market rate for people who might need more than 40 acres for what they're trying to do on their land. As well, I know that there's 3 different states that at least have bills or proposals for a Freedmen's Bureau. So I imagined eventually we would have maybe a council of 50 or something like that. I don't know how many trustees there can be for a trust at a federal level, but I do think we'll need the infrastructure for them all to communicate and to speak on behalf of, their collectives.
That right there, with the work groups, that can be micro down for the city. And those groups, there will be boards that could actually support those little towns and cities and everything that you're talking about. And then they would actually work with the city themselves, because I want to put a Freedman in the position where they know where there's tax liens on properties, that we can actually attack those tax liens quick and bring that property into the trust. And then from there, the board would make the decision if they want to flip that land, or keep it to build something on that land. So I will have, only thing I'm doing is, basically approving, because there's going to be inside of the Freedmen Nation, there's going to be a work group that's hidden. There's going to be accountants and some lawyers and all those underneath that work group that actually it's pretty much like the governance of the trust. So there's going to be you'll be able to click. Of course, you have to be password protected, so you can actually see what's going on in the trust. So you're not in the position like, I don't know what's going on, or just hiding things. No, it's going to be transparent, because I don't want to be in the position someone come and knock me over my head because they don't know what's in the trust or what I'm doing. I'm gonna put it. It's gonna be out there for only the verified members to be able to see that stuff, not the public, because we're considered private. The reason why I made it private, because a public trust is that anybody can actually take over. Anybody. So the private trust protects it so that no one can take over from outside of us. That's it. So in 12 years, I'm retiring. I can't do this. I'm not going to be doing this forever. But someone needs to step up and take it over.
Arthur, if I may ask one last thing. In the previous conversation, I've heard you say multiple times as well, first mover, and kind of like sole authority, I think kind of works in the same conversation.
Yes.
I mentioned to you the OaklandReparations.com website, how you stepping forward and already creating this Freedmen's Trust, how does it allow us to protect ourselves from others who are trying to Kamala Harris has a Freedmen's Bureau meeting and then ends up, giving minorities access to banking, right? So how do you being a first mover allow us to protect ourselves from people who are trying to the NBCI trust, the Pan-African one, for example, the race-based one.
But the good thing about the way the trust can move is that right now I'm trying to get all that back for our people underneath the trust, and then the board make a decision what they're going to do with that in the trust. So this Kamala Harris or Democrats won't misuse that. Also, it puts us in a position where we can just go ahead and do actual make a legal claim against them, because the money that I receive for the American Freedmen Legal Fund, that is just a thread. Allow me to take care of a lot of things I need to take care of as far as how I was taking care of everything as far as my hours. But we're going to need money to actually fight the battles. But if we get all the assets from the bank back underneath us, then we wouldn't have to worry about that stuff, because they're doing this because we're in a position of weakness, and they know that. They know that no matter how hard we scream and all this other stuff, they don't care about that. They're laughing at us, But the trust actually puts us in a very strong position to do more for our people. That's it.
All right. Appreciate that, Cash. Thank you. Let me give a shout out real quick to Simply, Rick, and Rita for their contributions on Cash App. Thank you, guys. It's appreciated. Let me go ahead and I'm going to get to Naheem, and then I'm going to get to About 2000. Naheem, how you doing tonight?
Peace. What's going on, News Total? Shout out to the room. Shout out to the host. I wasn't going to, I ain't going to say I wasn't going to come up here. I probably was going to come up here at some point. But when Cash asked him the question about how he initially set this thing up, it was framed in a way that this was his position all along, but it wasn't. And I'm going to read from his tweet, because this is what got everybody up in arms. And for us, this guy came out of nowhere. And now all of a sudden he's setting up these legal funds and these trusts, and nobody knows the fruit of any of this stuff. That's why you've never seen me retweet anything about no funds, etc., because nobody knows this dude like that at all. But I want to read his tweet, because I don't want nobody to misunderstand what the brouhaha was about with this guy. He said, official public notice. Freedmen Reparations Fund Trust seeks formal recognition as the sole authority over freedmen reparations. You could try to mince words and try to make it seem like it's something different. Now, no, this is what he tweeted, and this is what caused the controversy, and this is what led to my sister Roz starting that room the other night, so that we could put this thing on Front Street and flesh it out and let everybody else see what it is. He then said, I have officially, News Total asked him, did you confer with other organizations about this thing? There's people that's putting in this work for real. There's people that have work that they've put in to show that they're working, that they're on the ground, that they're giving testimonies, that they're drafting legislation, etc., etc., etc. And this guy comes out of nowhere talking about he is setting up a fund to be recognized as the sole authority over freedmen reparations. Let me continue. He said, I have officially declared the Freedmen Reparations Trust Fund. He has, as the designated freedmen-led financial institution to manage, distribute, and safeguard reparations for freedmen successors, the direct lineal descendants of the formerly enslaved in the United States. Then he talks about these letters that he sent to all of these different places. And I got up here because I didn't like how the Cash was framing the questions, because he changed his position after the series of spaces that happened, and people was giving him suggestions, and then he started talking about the opt-in and the opting out and all of this other stuff. So this guy, in my opinion, is disingenuous. We do not, I want to stress that, support him, his funds, this trust, or anybody that supports this stuff. If you rock with this stuff, then you're okay with anybody just coming into this thing and taking advantage of people. I'm done.
All right.
Well, Naheem,
Go ahead, Arthur. Go ahead.
I want to answer. I want to answer what Naheem said. Now, when I went into your space to explain myself, how often were you muting me? You was muting me very, very often. How can someone actually have a conversation and tell you about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it when I'm being muted? I was in that space and I was getting brutalized by y'all. Y'all didn't let me speak. Y'all didn't let me get any word in. I wait. If anybody was in that space, I'd sit there for 40 minutes and not say nothing. All these people kept up going up there, and they got their words off, none interruption. As soon as I say something, a few seconds later, I'm getting cut off. That's hard. That is no way that you can actually have a conversation with someone in a space that you are trying to get answers from. So if you were trying to get answers from, you didn't get them because you wouldn't let me say anything. So you don't operate like that on authority because you have a mute button. I would never do that to a person you're supposed to represent in 40 million people you're supposed to represent. Now, I'm going to answer that question about being sole authority. We have to have an entity that takes that and say we are the sole authority of reparations, because we have all of these immigrants coming here thinking that they have position on our reparations. You're not thinking about the big picture. You're thinking about, let's get reparations for everybody and everything, but you're working on the level of city. You may be doing some state stuff, but we need to be covered across the United States, not just in the city and state. We need to be covered across the whole entire country. We need to be in a position.
I need to use ChatGPT.
Hold on. Who's speaking? Whoever's speaking, stay on your mic. Let him finish.
No, I got my freaking iPad up.
So, okay. Go ahead.
So basically, all I did is say that our freedmen beneficiaries has the sole authority over our own reparations. Because, for one, we all have yet none of you have taken care of Narc and Cobra. Y'all working besides those guys, meeting with these guys, asking them to stop things that they're doing, telling them they shouldn't be on these commissions that they're on, and they keep on inserting themselves in our business. What I did is to actually design to actually push them out of these commissions. You want them on the commissions with you, or do you want them to actually be shut down so we can get the work done? You're not getting anything done with all these immigrants and all these melanated people and Narc and Cobra in your business. You're not getting anything done that way. So the Freedmen Nations Super PAC is going to help you with that. The trust that you just said the other day, I went on your website, Naheem. I went on your website to look to see how your website functioned and all that. It was just a few days ago. Your donation button did not work. You just got it to work just a few days ago. How are you going to fund something to advocate when your donation button doesn't work? Now, the trust, on the other hand, will be doing grant work with your foundation. If you accept, it would actually give you money when you need it to do the work. If you say that, I'd ask you the other time, if I gave you $5,000, you said to me, if I gave you $5,000, I wouldn't take your money. But when I told you that, hey, what you want me to do about Narc and Cobra, would you be interested in that? You told me this. You told me
let me get with the board. I can't make decisions by myself. But then, when I said, if I give you 5,000, you made a decision by yourself. So I don't know what it is. Either you make a decision by yourself, or you're going to your board to make a decision. So, and then, in one of the other spaces, they said, would you make Naheem a trustee? I said, I can give you an olive branch. Sure. If we can come together on something, I will make him a trustee. But the thing is, how can I make someone a trustee when he is just undermining? You know, just everything all that comes out of him is tear down, tear down. Everybody he deals with, he tears down, tears down. I don't understand how can you be a leader of something but tear people down. You can't run businesses like that. You can't run organizations like that because no one will want to work with you. I'm happy Ali's working with you. I'm happy that other people are working with you. I'm happy that the people that surround you see that you're a good guy. I don't know you. You know, I don't know you from Adam, but you have this thing against everybody. You know, so look, Naheem, I gave you compliments at the beginning of this space. Everybody can say I did. I said I learned it from you. I learned it from Ali. I gave that at the beginning. I didn't down you. I didn't call you no scum. I didn't do any of those things. But you decided that I'm going to come up there, I'm going to show him how big and great I am. Dude, you don't have to do that. If you don't like what I'm doing, you can ignore me. It's that simple. You know?
All right. Well, Arthur, let me go ahead and get to some of the hands up, and we're going to move it around. Of course, we're going to get back to you as well. But let me get to about 2,000.
Yes, AB 2000. Shout out to you, News Tater.
AB 2000. My bad.
Yeah, no problem. Shout out to the co-host DJ and y'all. I just wanted to say real quick. I said this in the other space when we were gathering the other day. Shout out to the rest of the room too, and Arthur for coming up again. I think the contention here is, between the legislation and it's really just the strategies about how people are going about it. Naheem, y'all are taking the initiative to spearhead the legislation on the Freedmen front. I don't understand, why you have a contention with somebody else doing something in a different area, something that you're not doing, you're not focusing on that area. Don't worry about that. I mean, there's so many different things. We need to be protecting our stuff in so many different ways. The trust that Arthur has been talking about is a asset protection mechanism. And if you don't have that knowledge, then you can't speak on that, because that's exactly what he's doing. And he's spearheading the initiative on this. So I don't understand why you feel like everything needs to go through you, or I don't understand why people feel like that. Period. If you have an interest in something, if you have expertise in something, start doing something, in that area. Your focus is legislation, just focus on that. Author's expertise is in a different area. This is an area that I have some expertise in too. We'll focus on this. I made a couple notes here, but that's basically what I came up to say. All of this, we're doing it on behalf of our lineage. That's all we're trying to do. All of these things, the situation that we're in is because we have not been having those things protected. We're trying to utilize our know-how, our expertise, that we've gathered over the years, and to collaborate. I understand we have differences. But if we're putting our lineage first, we're going to have to work together. You know what I'm saying? There's some people I don't like too. There's some, issues that I need to, sort out with others too. And we can sort that out. But at the end of the day, if we're moving our lineage forward, we're going to have to work together. And I just want to say that again. So, if you are feeling this way, that someone needs to get some type of approval or something like this to move forward in something, that's wrong. or if you think that's us, I'm not getting approval from nobody. I'm gonna start whatever I start, and if those I really think it's I think it shows Arthur's character that he's able to stand up here and take questions from people. Like I said, Naheem this isn't the first time Naheem's name been brought up in something. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have a hard time with him. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, we don't have to go through nobody to do anything when it comes to protecting or standing up for our lineage. Let's just start. Let's be the first ones to be the first movers. Like Arthur was saying, let's put a claim on something so we can make sure that our folks aren't left out. And that's all that's being done here. Thank you, News Toter.
All right, AB. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Show and my ancestors. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's up? Peace to the road, man. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for bringing me up. This is how I see the situation. I don't necessarily know Arthur. I don't know Naheem. I don't know anybody here personally. I do advocate for reparations for the lineage. So if I see somebody doing something or trying to do something, they might get a little twos and fews from me. You know what I'm saying? To try to support their efforts. So I supported Arthur's efforts because he was sending out, mail and emails to various different, issues that were going on that was affecting, our lineage. I figured at least I could do his battle brother lunch for his efforts. But recently when that email came out, I was a little bit hesitant as well. It was news to me. I took a little bit of a step back as well. The reason being is when you do something on that level, you have to have some type of ground game going. You have to have some type of camaraderie with people that share the same goal and the same passion as you. This seems like a pretty good idea, but just has some poor execution. Nobody is the head of anything, but we've been going through so much trauma since, hundreds of years. We don't have a lot of trust for a lot of people because there's been a lot of grifters and a lot of nonsense. And knowing that if you shed a lineage, you should be already thinking in your mind about the blowback or the pushback you're going to get from your own people. Who are you? What are you doing? Who are you working with? Things of that nature. So I encouraged Arthur to reach out to various different organizations, especially if they're using the identifier as Freedmen, to garner some support, talk to them about what you're doing, having some Zoom calls, helping them understand what you're doing, and trying to build together. Because I don't think you can do this by yourself, Arthur. You're going to need half the people in this room and for them to bring 20 other people to the table to do whatever you're trying to do. So I think you need to take a step back, my brother. This is my suggestion. Reach out across the aisle to several different, entities that support reparations, lineage-based reparations, that focus on freedmen rights. I think you need to reach across the aisle and do a little bit more research in your work, bro. Because I was taken back when you didn't know who was in my profile picture. When you didn't know who was in my profile picture, that gave me a little bit of a pause, bro. But I'm just going to encourage you, answer these questions, but take this opportunity to reach across and work with other individuals that's in this room who has organizations, who's been doing the work for years, and getting to know them and try to build a relationship with them. And with that, I'll land.
All right, appreciate that.
I'd like to answer that about your profile picture. You have a girl in your profile picture, and I call you a her, and you got mad because I called you a her. And you said, I'm a man. That day, I didn't know you was a man. I heard you speak. So I had no idea. I apologize for that in your DM. Secondly, the foundation is not set up for us to actually communicate with the organizations. That's the reason why Freedmen Nation is going to launch. So then everybody that comes in can actually do the Zoom calls within within those work groups. I want to make sure that there is a place that we all can go together and sit and talk and all that. But right now, it's not set up. There's so many different organizations outside of the ones that I know of. I have no idea how many different organizations are there. I would be spending my whole entire day learning all these different organizations. So that's the reason why I'm setting up Freedmen Nation, so then everybody who can log in and be part of the work groups for those nonprofits can work together. So then we can come together on how we can actually attack situations, because y'all going to need money. Y'all going to need money to advocate for freedom. If there's no money for you to do anything, then nothing gets done. That means if you're having to travel to a state and you live in one state, you're working with these other people, you need money for hotels, you need money for all those things. That's why this reason I want Freedmen Nation to actually start, so the money can start rolling in, so then I can actually give those nonprofits that money to do the work. This is what it's all about.
All right, appreciate that, Arthur.
Can I respond?
Real quick, let me go ahead and get to
real quick. It'll be 30 seconds.
30 seconds, and I got to move to the next speaker.
I appreciate it, News Tyler. Thank you again for allowing me to speak. I wasn't offended that you didn't know who I was. The person in this in my profile picture is pretty much one of the most important people as far as reparations is concerned. So that's why I was a little bit taken back. As far as what you're trying to do, bro, I see what you're saying. I just don't necessarily agree, man. I don't see how you're going to get, generated, a couple $100,000, $1 million to fund a whole bunch of organizations and political, political candidates without having any ground game unified with all the people who are doing the work already. So I just encourage you to take a step back, bro. You can do what you want to do because it's your thing. Take a step back, reach across the line, set up some meetings, and try to talk to various other people who've already been doing the work. With that, I land. I appreciate you for letting me speak.
All right, thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Roz. Roz, how you doing tonight?
News Toter, I'm hanging in there, brother. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right. I just want to I'd let everybody know my space is recorded. It's in the Jumbotron at the top. If you want to hear it, I think we were like 4 hours in. And certain things I wanted to say, and I agree with Brother Naeem. Nobody ever caught me on here saying Ross is nasty. She's trying to come at people in any kind of nasty way. But I agree. Brothers here is being disingenuous. One of the things is he had written a 7-page letter to the U.S. Treasury. And in that letter, it was basically stating information about how he was his entity was the sole entity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. One of the things I said in the space that I did on Thursday evening when I read his tweet, his post, was that this sounds like Narcan and Cobra. And I know because I was one of the people pushing back hard against Narcan and Cobra and getting our funds in their trust fund or in their control and then distributing it out. Because anytime you're getting something in between, you're getting paid for that. You have to get paid for that because you have to pay accountants, you have to pay attorneys, you have to pay yourself. There's a fee coming out of it. And our statement to everybody was that reparations should act very much in the way that the COVID money acted, direct cash payments. And people were coming in on Friday calling people out their names, dumb and stupid for not jumping on the board. Well, I mean, I'm a little bit too wise for that kind of foolishness and that kind of distraction. My point on Friday when I spoke to was either you're supporting direct cash payments from the U.S. Treasury like we got from the COVID payments, or you wanted to go into somebody's trust fund that you know only through social media on this app. And the issue is clear. And I said it should not be an opt-out. It should be if somebody wants to come in and it wants to be your family members or whatever the case, people don't have to wrangle our money for us. That's not reparations. That's Narcan and Cobra. And it's the same suit warmed over as Narcan and Cobra. People were getting called that didn't agree, emotional and things of that nature. And the only reason I muted Arthur was because I told you then that my voice going up against you talking over me was not going to work. I'm a woman. I can't battle vocally with a man. But I can see, because you said the following day, that Friday, you said, oh, I didn't know that Narcan and Cobra had a trust fund. Well, it was mentioned by me the night before, and it was also Arthur Ward from Chicago said this feels like Narcan and Cobra all over again. And the reason we know is because we've been doing this for quite some time. So we didn't just wake up and say we're going to come at somebody that's doing something, because that something doesn't make sense to me. All this verified, I don't need to come to you, young man, and verify that I'm a freedman, when we were the ones that taught you guys, a lot of you, about the freedman status. I don't need to come to you. What we do need and what we have been pushing is an Office of Freedmen Affairs that can do that verification, not somebody online on the internet. Another thing you said that was quite troubling, because I listened to all 5 or 6 hours from Friday. I went back and listened to that recording, and that was in Men's Spaces had recorded it, is that you said it started around like the 4-hour, 20-minute mark or something like that. But you had said that you didn't trust anybody other than your wife and son to be on the board. Like, how can I trust y'all? Oh, how can we trust you? How can we trust you with the money that should be coming directly to us? If there are 7 people in your family and we get $500,000 or $700,000, you don't think those people can get their thing together on how they want to manage their money? That doesn't make sense to me. And if it doesn't make sense and it sounds too much like Narcan and Cobra, then I'm out, and I'm going to encourage everybody to start thinking on their own of why would you want him to do what you don't want Narcan and Cobra to do? And if that is upsetting because you put a lot of time and energy and thinking of how you can be the in-between guy, then so be it. But I've been dealing with this for years. Many of us have been. So it's nothing personal. I don't know you. You don't know me. But I'm telling you because it's practical for us to start thinking of what is going to be done. Now, if somebody wants to come in because they like the way you smile on your app and they want to put their money into your trust, then so be it. But they need to understand that direct cash payments is what reparations really is. And I don't need your trust saying that I can opt out. I don't need your trust going to the U.S. Treasury, writing letters saying, oh, your organization or your trust is the sole organization that should be getting anything dealing with reparations, because that's what you stated in that letter that you sent out already. And that's egregious. You can't just jump in front of something like that and you not know. If you did not know who Cali Guy House is in that brother's profile, that's highly problematic, because you don't know enough to be leading in such a historic thing like this. You don't. We are pushing for reparations to come in as direct cash payments to individuals that are freedmen. We're pushing for a Bureau of Freedmen Affairs and offices of Freedmen Affairs that will do the verification. I don't know you to give you any of my family information. That's so no, you don't do that. People, I don't even understand where people are so open to you knowing their information like that. That's just no. I don't give people my social security number. I don't give people access like that. That's none of their business. It's none of your business. That's something that is it's very proprietary. I don't understand why people are so open to it. I guess we're really hurt and broken as a people, but there are certain people that just are the vanguards of our people. And I happen to be one of them. And thank you, News Toter, for letting me speak. If you have a question, like I said, about that space, I was very, that's why I muted. So I did mute, but I asked you several times because you were trying to yell over me. Please, and I said, and I was nice. I didn't use any profanity. Y'all know me not to use profanity on this app. So, and I noticed a lot of energy has been going towards my brother Naeem. Naeem this, Naeem that. Well, say something about me, shall you? Because I don't talk nasty to people. Ever. Somebody's nasty to me, I block them. But I'm going to stand on my square of the truth. I'm going to stand on that vanguard square of defending my people. That's the only reason I'm into this fight. For reparations as direct cash payments to each and every freedman that's a freedman. So thank you for letting me speak.
All right. Thank you, Ross.
I'd like to reply to that.
Go ahead.
For one, I told at the beginning of this space that the government cannot transfer money into the trust. You wasn't here for that. Secondly, for one, you have to build infrastructure for what you're doing. If you're not building infrastructure for what you're doing, then we're just playing in the wind for the next 10 to 20 to 30 years. If you don't want infrastructure for our people, then where we're going to be at 100 years from now. Because every time an election happens, things change within those governments. So 2 years from now, although the admission, the commission may be started or the affairs may be started, there's going to be a new person making decisions for that affairs office. I'm setting up infrastructure. That's what I'm doing. That's my lane. As far as the letter being sent, yes, y'all bang me and talk down to me and act like I'm nobody. Woman, I've run the companies doing $2 million a year, $15 million a year companies that I own. And I did not need anyone's permission to do what I'm doing. There's this gatekeeping idea, this mentality is going to destroy us. Period. We do not gatekeep work. We don't do that. I've never told my employee that I want things this way. If he's doing good and selling beds and he has a country voice, or no, man, you need to speak this way in order to get more sales. But I'm finding that he's getting more sales because he's been who he is, not because I want him to be something else. I did not come in your space to argue with you, Roz. That's not me. I hate that stuff. I hate when I even talk to Naheem that way because it's not me. But the thing is, I mirror stuff that is thrown at me. And I hate that side of it. You know, I love that what Naheem taught me. I love what Ross has taught me. It has made me a better freedman to figure out who I am in this society. Yes, I did send those letters because it's part of the organization, it's part of the PMA, of the entity. They responded. I got to respond back to them. They responded to it because it's called a trust. And I'm asking them for something. They responded within 3 days. That's the fastest I've seen someone respond to me in a long time. Me just doing it as an individual, like I've been doing with the American Freedmen Legal Fund, they weren't responding to me. They thought I was a joke. But this time, in 3 or 4 days, they responded to me with an email from the church. That means that I'm making some progress. That may gonna be some changes that I may have to make down the road. But the goal is to get us past the goalpost where we need to be. You know, I actually, all the work I'm doing, I actually put it out there on X for y'all to look. I'm very transparent on what I'm doing. I don't see anything from y'all. I want y'all to report every single time you do business, do anything with your nonprofit, and put it out there for everybody to see. Everything. Every single thing. When you walk in the door and put your shoes up, take a picture of it. Put it on X so everybody can see what you're doing. I put everything out there. Emails, everything. When you send an email, put your email out there for everybody to see what you're doing in your organization. Let them know what you're doing so they can kind of critique you on what you're doing. Let us know all the stuff you're doing for us as a people. We shouldn't be waiting to see what you're doing. I bet you you're going to be like, no, man, that's my organization. No one's going to tell me what to do. But put it out there. We're supposed to be working together. You know, if I put something out there on X and someone says, Arthur, you know what? You may want to do it this way. I don't think that way it's going to work. I'm going to look at that, and I'm going to go back into the decision room and think about how can I make it better. But I don't see nothing from y'all. Zero. The only time we see something from y'all is when you got to a certain spot, to a certain position. That's the only time we know. You say that you run a nonprofit. I want to see what you're doing. Everybody's seeing what I'm doing. We all should be seeing this stuff. I do not want to tear us down. We don't need this fighting. That's all I'm saying. We don't need this. You know, I love y'all because y'all freedmen. I don't hate y'all because y'all freedmen. I love y'all because y'all freedmen. And I would never tear you down because you're freedmen. Yeah, you know, I run businesses. Yes, I am new to the idea of what I'm doing, but I'm making headway because I have different experiences than you. I've been to college and done different things in college. I wrote over 50 different reports. I do things different than you. I don't mind sitting down writing all day. I don't mind sitting down strategizing all day. I don't mind doing these things because I've been doing it. We're just different people. I'm a bulldog. When I climb onto something, I don't let it go. But I don't climb onto my people and try to wring their neck out. That's not me. That's not my personality. You know, so yes, Naheem, I learned a lot from you, brother. You are you're very smart on the Freedmen, everything. You know, Roz, you're very smart in what you do. But I'm not going to go in your lane and tell you what to do. But I'm going to try my very best to help you. I've never been invited to any of your organizations to do anything, you know, because you don't see the value of me helping you with anything. So I leave it at that. But the worst part is that trying to insert yourself in what I'm doing when I'm not even trying to do what you're doing. So I hope that once Freedmen Nation launches, that you're bringing your nonprofits into the workshops, so we all can work together. That even the people you don't like and that you punch down on, they come here and we see that we in there doing the work, and maybe come on X and act stupid. But when we go back into Freedmen Nation, we're going back and doing the work. You know, we're patting each other on the back. At the end of the year, we celebrating because we got headway. That's what I want to see. You know, that's all I want to see.
All right.
I'm done.
I love I am said that she can you guys see anybody trying to get up here, because I don't see with the exception of, I know Naheem had his hand up and Roz, but I don't see anybody else. I sent Love I Am a DM, but if you guys in the space see anybody that's trying to hold it, that's got their hands up, and I can't, because I can't see. I only see 3 hands up. I see Naheem, Roz, DJ. Now I see Swanee G hand just went up. But I don't see anybody else's hands up. So if you guys see anybody in the space who's got their hand up, or if you're in the space, go ahead and you got your hand up, because I can't see it. I have an Android phone, and sometimes if somebody has an iPhone, you can't see it or whatever. So if you're in the space and you got your hand up, you're trying to speak, leave a comment. You know, tag us in the comments so we can be notified, because I only see the people hands up. I see Naheem, Ross, Swanee G, and DJ. And I sent Love I Am a request, a invite to her DM. So hopefully we can get her up here. I didn't even notice she had a hand up here until she left a comment. So guys, I'm not directly trying to miss anybody. It's just like I say, different phone operation systems, I guess, on these spaces. If you have an Android and iPhone, sometimes it's not compatible or whatever. So if I don't see you, it's not intentionally. So I'm just letting you know, leave a comment, tag us. I will periodically check the comments and see as well too. Let me go ahead and get back to Naheem. Naheem, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, man. So, man, he says so much. It was hard to keep up with everything, but I want to start here. He said he went to my website, and one of the few things he said that was actually true, and that the donate button was down. And there was a reason why. We were hosting on another platform because we were about to go through this Flip Cause program, and they help nonprofits with their funding, well, not funding, but their promotions, et cetera, et cetera. Long story short, it was too pricey for us to maintain, and so we ditched it. But we kept our website on that domain because it was free. And when I realized about a week ago that the donate button wasn't working, I contacted them and had to switch back to to Wix, where we have our website originally hosted. So he got that part right. But if you listen to, because this dude sounds, I don't care about nobody's compliments. I don't care about nobody's disses. If you listen, because I listen with real nuance. He said, I went to Naheem's site and there was the donate button was down. So how you gonna fund a movement or fund anything rather when your donate button is down? So first and foremost, because I don't want nobody to escape from why we're even here. His original tweet, he claimed to have set up a trust to be the sole authority over reparations. Our donate button is for our 501c3, for people to donate and for us to do the things that we need to do as an organization, pay bills, subscriptions, et cetera, with dues. And if people donate, they donate. Our organization is not set up to receive everybody's reparations, and then you can, well, later on opt in or opt out of the reparations payments going to United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen, and then I guess we start handing out checks. There was a sister in the space the other day. She was trying to get up on Ron's space. I don't think Roz was able to see her. But we know who the sister is, but her screen name is Lula May. One of the brothers, the AB2B guy, came up here and was like, this is Arthur's lane. I asked Arthur several questions about trust stores, et cetera, and he didn't have the proper answer to those questions. But that sister knew all about trusts, and she started asking him questions, and he didn't have any answers to these questions. Not the real answers based on trust and how trusts are even set up. Even Ali, when they were on the phone, had a conversation with the brother, and the brother just didn't know what he was talking about. So that's why we're here right now. When you come out of nowhere and you proclaim yourself king of the reparations space, if anybody finds that thread, just go look at it. Look at the comments that people have left on that thread. You've lost your effing mind, and yo, dude, who are you, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You don't do it. And he said he doesn't see my work because he's new. He doesn't know about all of the consulting work that United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen put in. He doesn't know about the many spaces that other Freedmen organizations had from all over the country, shouting us out for assisting them and helping them draft whatever it is that they needed to draft, or advising, et cetera, et cetera. He doesn't know about when Hurricane Ida tore through Louisiana, how we held fundraisers on PTP and was able to help several families. You don't know about, the testimonies that we've given in certain states or cities that were trying to do local initiatives. Maybe if he heard us talking about it. So when he says he doesn't see the work that we're doing, well, number one, you're new. You just came out of nowhere. Number two, you're being dishonest because you know for a fact that we have two pieces of legislation in the state of Massachusetts right now, one of which just went to the state's Judiciary Committee and has been assigned a new number, 1696. So we're moving. I don't know what you're talking about, but what you're attempting to do is trying to, in one moment, give a compliment and then another moment cast slight aspersions on our reputation and on our name, but you can't because our work speaks for itself. And I'm going to end with this. Everything needs to be gate kept. The reason why so many people were able to come in to American Freedmen business and take it over is because we always welcomed everybody with open arms, much like people did you. But I was skeptical about you from day one, because I should be. I don't know who you are. The people that I was rocking with from 2019, I know who they are. 2020, 2021, I know who they are. I don't know you, dude. I don't know you at all. So you can't ever try to come in this space and make it seem like you somehow reached out, or like, we don't know you. We don't know you. You don't have the right to come into a space and then proclaim yourself king. I'm taking over. And the sister Lula May read the letter that he sent because he had it up on his website, I believe. He claimed that what he was establishing to go along with the tweet that he made, that he would be the sole authority, would be for all reparations programs, federal, state, and city, I believe, was the verbiage. So this guy could get up here and say whatever he wants to say, but we know the facts. What Tupac said, you could tell the people you roll with whatever you want, but you will not know what's going on. It's just simple as that. I'm done with it.
All right, appreciate Naheem. Is there anybody up here in the speaker section that has an iPhone? Because I'm thinking that if I could get somebody in here as one of the co-hosts, they could see CC, Ross, Swan. Any of you guys have an iPhone up? Any?
I have an iPhone, but I don't want to co-host for a long time.
No, I just need somebody that can help because there are people requesting, and I can't see. Professor, you still up here?
Well, I am is not even in this space.
She's not.
I don't even.
She's not.
So I left and came back. I left and came back, and it gave me the option to come in as a speaker.
That's what I said. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So people who want to speak may want to leave and come back, so they have the automatic option.
Yeah, I sent you that speaker request. But okay, because if you guys, like I say, leave a comment or whatever, because like I said, if you got an iPhone, I got an Android, so that's going to be an issue right there. But let me go ahead and get to Roz, matter of fact, let me get to the two of the new speakers, Swanee G. Or Roz, you go real quick, and then I want to get to Swanee G, and I want to get to CC as well too.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to, I'm not going to be long-winded with it. I just wanted to say that, Arthur, what you had said to me is a lot of white noise, because you really didn't address the letter, the 7-page letter that went to the U.S. Treasury stating, like Brother Naeem had just stated, it was just basically, Sister Lula May had read it on that Friday, and it had stated that your trust is the sole recipient. It should be the sole recipient for all these levels, federal, state, and local reparations, and anybody or anything outside of your trust, it was going to be legal actions held against them. I mean, what? I mean, what happened to direct cash payments? I mean, you didn't address that. You also didn't address how you said, I don't trust them. I don't trust y'all. I don't know y'all. So of course it's going to be you, your wife, and child. But you want people to trust you. I mean, and like I said, for me, the biggest red flag or stop sign, I should say, is everything you said sounds like Narcan and Cobra. It just does. And that has not been addressed. I mean, all this other stuff talking about, I don't know what's going on, how y'all able to talk for us. Brother, you don't even know what we're doing at our organization, because our organization isn't stepping up here trying to get paid or be in between anybody and their money. If anything, we're advocating for our people to get money and making sure that it's not going into organizations and other people's trust funds or Narcan and Cobra getting involved and trying to get it to people because of melanin, the chemical melanin in your skin. We're the ones advocating for people, but we aren't standing in between people and their money. And we never have, never will. So, I mean, all of that deflectionary kind of talk is ridiculous to me. Like I said, people can come up here, you and another gentleman, they pointing fingers at Naeem this. Naeem, you always started stuff. What about me? I never started anything, but I'm going to try to end it. I'm trying to get people, I'm not telling you what to think. I'm trying to get people to think. Either you want direct cash payments, family, like reparations should be, or you want somebody to set up a trust fund and the money be filtered some kind of way, whatever the case may be. And people have come up in here and said, well, I don't know how this all works, but I endorse the guy. That's ridiculous, because that doesn't even make sense. You don't know how it works, and this is recorded on Friday, but you don't know how it works, yet you come in and endorse it. That's very silly. That's very silly and childish, and we are past that point. If you're on this side of 50 and you still talking like that, then that's a sad thing. Can't do that. You can't influence a lot of the younger people coming up and telling them, oh, okay, go roll with it anyway, and you don't even understand how it all works. Because at one point I'm hearing it's a sue. We put our money into the Cash App and X, Y, and Z will start happening. And another point, I'm hearing reparations. So reparations don't come from the people. Reparations comes from the federal government or state government or the local government. So I just want people to think and get mad all you want. I don't care. This is what I do. I educate. At work and away from work. So there it is. Thank you for letting me speak again, News Toter. I'm stepping down.
All right. Thank you, Roz. Real quick, Ray, you up here? See if Ray is.
Hey, CC is trying to speak.
Yeah, I'm
Ray up here. Yeah, Ray is up here.
I'm trying to.
Swanee G.
I know, I got you. Yeah, Swanee G, and then UCC. I'm trying to see Ray if Ray is up here, because I think Ray may have an iPhone.
Yeah, I'm up here, News. I just jumped up to see if you needed help, but if you need me, I'm here for the whole space.
Let me I'm gonna switch you and Professor. Professor, I'm gonna drop you the speaker, and I'm gonna bring Ray up here so he can see who's trying to request, because we can't see some of the people. So I'm gonna remove you, Professor. Try to come up here as a speaker, and I'm gonna bring Ray up here. I'm gonna get to you, Swanee. Give me 1 second, and then
Hey, News Toter, did you try switching to your laptop?
No, I didn't, because I got it on StreamYard too. So yeah, I'm gonna bring Ray up here. Ray should be able to handle it. He should be able to see it. But go ahead, Swanee, and then I got you next, CC.
Okay, peace, love, and reparations, man. I appreciate you for allowing me to get into space. Shout out to the host and co-host and everybody in the room. Again, peace, love, and reparations.
Real quick, Swanee. Real quick, Swanee. Yeah. Ray, if you see people coming to request to speak, bring them up here. But go ahead, Swanee. You got it.
Already on. Got you. All right, my man. First and foremost, brother Arthur. I get kind of suspect when I hear sole authoritarian and the sole recipient of something. The sole recipients are the freedmen or the people. It's not an organization. It's not a trust. It's for the people. The sole recipients of reparations is for the people. So as Sister Ross was saying, it kind of sounds like NARC and NCOBRA. So my question to you, are you affiliated with NARC and NCOBRA? And then my follow-up question is to that is, I understand that you're trying to use fidelity, and why fidelity? That's the follow-up question to that. But just the statement I want to say is the simple fact that, it's a lineage-based program for descendants of emancipated freemen, period, in America. And cash reparations must be the priority number one in this whole movement. It can't be nothing else. Just too much has been happening over the year with NARC and NCOBRA and the NAACP, to be quite frank, and the Boule class, preventing us from getting what we deserve, what is owed to us as a people. So that's very important. For you to step on the scene and say that you're the trustee and your son and your wife is a trustee, it just seemed kind of suspicious to me. I'm just being honest with you. You know what I mean? Because when you make it about your own personal family and don't make it about the people, then that's a problem with me personally. You got to get together with other organizations that are fighting for the same thing. And before you go out and do something like what you're doing, which I appreciate, because I appreciate the courage and you stepping up to do something like this, but you have to sit down and have conversations with the people in person, to have these long conversations. Not in spaces, sit down and meet with them and have these conversations, and then we can get somewhere. But until that point, I just don't trust what you're trying to do right now. I understand it from your perspective. I get it. But quite frankly, I just don't trust it because, again, let me say this, and I'm going to land my plane here. When you say this trust is you are the sole recipient of anything that concerns me and should concern the people. Once again, peace, love, and reparations to my people in the space. Thanks, News.
All right. Appreciate that, Swanee. Thank you.
I'd like to answer his questions.
Go ahead real quick, Art, because I want to get the hands too, but go ahead.
No, I'm not in any relations with NARC and COBRA. And if you looked at my one of my declarations today, I'm trying to keep NARC and COBRA ADOS for actually being the sole recipients of verification. There is a lot of moving parts with what I'm doing. As far as fidelity, the way I structured the beneficiaries within the trust, and plus it's a legal entity, Fidelity was first to approve the trust. I just had another approval from a local bank. So it's going to end up going between the local bank and the trust, and Fidelity. Third question that third statement that you made is that I'm holding your money. The trust does not get your money. We never see your money from the government. We are want to help manage and help them distribute the money directly from the government to you. You got opt in if you want your money to go to the trust, but it has to go from you making that decision to the trust. We're not taking your money, for one. As far as the sole authority is the beneficiaries. It's you. You are the sole authority. I don't understand why y'all don't understand this strategic move that I made. You are the sole authority. If you want Narc and Kroger to be the sole authority, you call Narc and Kroger and tell them to be your sole authority. And I hope that they put Freedmen in it. But no, they're gonna put African descendants and all this other stuff as the sole authority. I made this a strategic move. I've been doing business like this for a long time. You know, if I own mattress companies. If I didn't want a certain product on their floor, I go and take authority of that product line, so they're not competing against me. This is business. Just like when a person wants your house to put a golf course on it, they're gonna make all kinds of strategic moves to put the golf course on it. You know, so I'm not saying that you don't know anything about business. I'm not going to down you like that, because you could run an excellent business, but I know that there are devils in business. They would take things from you in business, because government is a business. If we don't take a complete authority over our reparations, someone else is going to do it. Luckily, no one else did it but me, because now they know that y'all are the beneficiaries of the reparations. And the money cannot be transferred into a private trust. It can be transferred into a public trust. And then that public trust can be co-opted with white people, Indians, or Mexicans, and everything. And they say they are the sole authority over you, and you get co-opted off of that trust. What I did was strategic. That's all it did. And I'm sorry that hurt a lot of people's feelings, but it's business. This is what we are. This is our society. This is what we do every day. It's business. So I don't want your money, for one. It goes directly to you. If you're the money that the reparations being paid from the verified freedmen, that's private reparations. There's two things going on. You have government reparations, you have private reparations. You can double dip and have both, or you can sit there and wait until the government gives it to you. You see, you can get it from us right now because it's under private, and so you don't have to wait. Then when the money comes in from the government, they're just icing on the cake.
All right.
That's all it is.
All right.
That's all I'm done.
Yeah, let me go ahead and get to the hands, because we're not going to keep this space going open too much longer. Matter of fact, the speakers that's up here, we're going to get to Connie, we're going to get to TANC, we're going to get to Love I Am, we're going to get to The Miss, and then we're going to end up closing this thing out for the night as well too. Let me go ahead and get to Miss Connie. Connie, it's been a hot minute since I heard you up in the News Total Space. How are you doing?
I know, man. Peace, love, and reparations. I miss you.
Well, we miss you too. You need to show up sometimes.
Okay, I will. So full transparency. What I'm going to say is, thus far, I wholeheartedly support Arthur. I spoke in Roz and Naheem's space on Friday, I believe that was. But let me say this. Okay, I don't know where to start. So much has been said, but just give me a second to kind of get my thoughts and build. What I see Arthur doing is revolutionary. And as activists, the people in this space that truly consider themselves activists, we should be understanding that we're in a new space and time of technology, right? We're in a place now where we have different avenues and lanes that we can use as vehicles to get where we need to go, because things haven't been working for us. So I look at what he's doing as revolutionary. He said strategic, and it's expeditious. The way that I look at, and I'll get into what I perceive the mechanics to be, what he's doing is he's leapfrogging over us, fighting with the government, fighting with NARC, fighting within COBRA, fighting with the Congressional Black Caucus, the legacy organizations, putting us in a position where we have a repository to do a lot of things, which I'll get into later. But we have a place. If you want to jumpstart your genealogy, this is the place, right? If you want to, if you want to have a political action committee, it's there. If you want to set up land grants, it's there. Complex asset protection. And so when I first started watching Arthur, I'm just like everybody else. I'm skeptical as hell. I have an organization. I'm not going to call names in this space, but I had some people that did me very dirty. I'm talking beyond dirty, that run around in all these spaces talking and barking. Some people tried to sabotage my organization. Some people had no idea what they were doing. They lied about their skill set. Some people bit off more than they can chew, but very few people did the work. So when Arthur said, hey, I don't trust anybody but my family. Whenever you set up a nonprofit, a trust or whatever, you start with people you trust. So him using his family, that's normal. Yes, it can be perceived, it could be a conflict of interest, but he's strategic. From a legal standpoint, if you're controlling it, you and your family, at least you hope these people won't do you wrong. Now I want to say this. For some reason, this has been bothering me. Not for some reason it's bothering me. It's bothering me that a lot of people run around spaces and seem to lack the knowledge of what's happening outside of spaces. There's a ton of nonprofits that people think we're the only people doing this work. There's a ton of nonprofits doing reparations work that we don't even know these people. There's nonprofits doing all types of things for the Black American freedmen community. Who do they put on their board? People they trust. Family, friends, their attorneys, their lawyers, whomever. We don't run around saying, we don't go to the NAACP. Who's on your board? I don't trust you. I'm not sending you my $100 every year. That's how boards, that's how.
We should be doing it.
Hello?
You got it, sister.
Okay. But the point I'm making is, people are looking at this in a bubble. There's tons and tons of nonprofits. And so to portray it like, oh, he's got his family on there. Who else are you going to start out with? Full transparency, I've been speaking to Arthur. I've had about 4 or 5 conversations with Arthur about what he's doing. It's complex. It took me a minute to start grasping what he's doing. Like he said, there's a lot of moving parts. This isn't just about lobbying for reparations, right? Then we have to look at the level of transparency that he has been open about everything. Not only that, he has a component. This is a lot more complex than us just, and I'm not saying just writing legislation, but this is much bigger than that. He's inviting people to come in. He's telling you, you can come in and be an administrator. You can bring your expertise in. You can bring your organization in and still be autonomous and coalition build. And people are missing that whole point. Something else he said, people brought up, I'm trying to remember some of the things that were kind of bothering me, but let me just say this. This is out of the box thinking. It's a preemptive strike. We don't have to wait for the government. And somebody said, I think Roz said, reparations comes from the government. With all disrespect, that's not true. Reparations comes from philanthropists. It could come from the Milken Foundation. It could come from Oprah's Foundation. It could come from, Michael Jordan's foundation. It could come from, I can send money there. As as a donation. It can come from Target. It can come from Apple. It can come from Google. It can come from the Catholic Church. It can come from anywhere, including the government. So what he's doing is he's jump-starting the reparations fund. The difficult thing is he keeps repeating this over and over. He's setting up the infrastructure. He's not ready to hit the ground running. He's opening this thing up and he's building. Anybody that's ever worked with, worked for, volunteered, knows anything about nonprofits, unless you're just coming with a bag of money, you have to start somewhere. You might get small donations. They have a place called here in LA called I may not get the name right, the Grantsmanship Writing Center or the Grantsmanship Center. It is a huge database of grants available to any and everyone that has a nonprofit. And you get online and you go there and you type in, what criteria your nonprofit has, what your mission statement is, what your target demographic, and it'll feed you a bunch of donors that are willing to donate. And some of that money, you can apply for money just for startup, just to get the lights on, just to get to rent an office space. You can apply for money to purchase a building. You can apply for money to get staff. And that's all that those grants may be for. Then you may get a grant. Let's say you have an after-school program. And it's just for Black Americans. There might be some philanthropists out there who say, hey, we'll give you $50,000 for insurance. We'll give you $50,000 for equipment. Then there's another grant, Hewlett Packard back in the day, or IBM. I'm trying to think of the old school ones. When I used to write grants, we'd apply and they'll give you a grant. And they'll say, we'll give you $50,000 worth of computers. Just all different types of things. So I'm just saying this. I'm asking everyone to not operate in a bubble, in an X-space bubble. This world is so big. We're not the only people doing this work. When I'm researching, I stumble up on organizations I never heard of, and I posted something, the Something Reparations Table Talk. And they've got programs and grants and things going. So in closing, I'm just saying, instead of calling people grifters, I think that is extremely wrong. To call someone a grifter with no proof of them grifting. Arthur, me, other people, when I started my organization, I didn't come to anybody. I don't have to tell people what my organization is and who's going to be on the board. I'm just like any other person in the world. So I set it up, and some of the people, in spaces, I don't know who's thumbing down. You must not understand business or nonprofits. You don't have to ask anybody to start your nonprofit. No one in this world. So anyway, when I started it, I got my board together. I invited some people from, spaces, people that and whatever, and we do our work. And our mission statement may not be the same as, John or Empress or Earn or whoever. Everybody has a different mission statement, a different objective, and a different goal. So we've got to think bigger picture and broader. And I applaud Arthur. This is a very ambitious undertaking with a lot of moving parts. And I encourage anybody that's skeptical, he has a website. Go to the website. If you want to have oversight of whatever your area of expertise is, there's a place for you. Go click on the button, get involved, and look from the inside and see what's happening. So I close with that. Peace, love, and reparations. Let's try to allow people to move in their lane without interference. Let's allow people the grace to succeed without trying to cause them to fail before they get off the ground. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Connie. Appreciate having you up here as always. Let me go ahead. Secret Sister, I brought you up here. I wasn't going to bring you up here because I was only going to keep the people up here, but I'm going to let you be the last person we're going to sneak up here because I'm trying to get up out this space. Let me get to TANC. Then I'm going to get to Love I Am. Then I'm going to get to The Miss and Secret Sister. And that's going to be it for tonight. We're going to be closing this thing down. Go ahead, TANC. You got it.
That is Tank for the American Negro Collective. Salute.
What's up, man? I didn't even know that was you. What's up now?
Yes, sir, brother News Toter. Being a lot quieter on this side of the app, trying to say funded socially based. But I did have a question for Mr. What's the Arthur?
Arthur dropped. He dropped down, but go ahead.
Oh man, what? So the question was simple. What? And now this is coming from I'm looking at my grandfather, Arthur Walter. It's Walter Spurgeon Mason. He was actually in World War II. I'm looking at his papers, which pretty much he was a Negro. I pretty much guarantee he was a freedman. So this is coming from a pure heart of somebody really who understands that term, where it should go, where it shouldn't. And so this is coming from a place of good for our people, and real knowledge needs to be shed. And again, you're getting away from this question. It's kind of weird. You keep running. But the question is, for those people that have no ties to freedmen that were here, I'm looking at paperwork, marriage certificates coming from the 1500s, paperwork like that. They have they're us, for sure. They're Negro, but they have no ties with the word freedman. How would this or ideologies only go in freedmen's direction? Not to say that that's not a real self-identifier or a real status for us. How would those people fall into this plan if they cannot show ties to the freedman name? So yeah, that would be my question. Oh, he's up here. Okay, cool.
Well, that's the reason why I put on the website 854-1862, because if your family was still slaves, they may have self-emancipated themselves, but still, they're still freedmen. So it's not that difficult. I think that we spend so much time on everything past a certain time, but at the end of the day, if they self-emancipated or Lincoln emancipated them, they're freedmen. Let's not make this so difficult. I don't care if you call yourself Negro. I don't care if you call yourself Black American. I don't care if you call yourself Creole. I don't care. You still fall under the status of freedmen. We're family. That's all it is. Everybody in this room, if that's the status of freedmen, is family. We shouldn't be fighting with each other. We all want the same thing. We all want to go to the lake together. We all want to go to go on nice vacations together. We're the same people. They just enjoy this work, make it happen. So at the end of the year, every year, we can come together like a family reunion and enjoy that we got that money. That's all about. And plus, I gotta say it again, the trust do not touch your money from the government. Again, the trust does not touch your money from the government. We just help facilitate it. If we didn't take the stance of being the authority of verification, someone else would. That is not a freedman. That is what I'm trying to do. I don't want someone to verify a Mexico company verifying our freedman status. I know that none of y'all in here want that either. I know we've had that happen to us so many times where someone outside control what we're doing. We got to stop this. We got to stop relying on other people that's outside of us to control those things, but still be mad at me when I'm trying to control it. We have to control it, period. It's like the situation in California. They want to do verification on to see if you're a freedman, but then they're not even freedmen themselves. Someone who just got here a year ago wants to tell you how your reparations should be verified through someone else that's been here for a year.
And what's the danger of that, Arthur? If you have a Caribbean or an African or a Latino trying to verify Black American freedmen, what could happen?
They're going to verify their own people. They're going to verify their own people.
Go ahead, Love. I am. There ain't nobody speaking. Go ahead. What's up, sister?
Hey, thank you for allowing me. So this is my first time ever hearing Arthur speak on it. And I'm not really satisfied with, I don't think it's been well articulated in this space where I'm able to see the value. And I really do wish that he would address the language that was outlined by Rosalind and Naeem. Also, I'm trying to, because I can see the value in the fund. I don't see the value because, see, he said we're all family. And we're actually not. I don't know you. And I just think that in the same way that he would, he sees value in his wife and his children, so do I, but I don't see that same value in him or like other persons in the space. And I think that's true for all of us, if we're being honest. So that being said, I don't see what the function of I can see a single lineage, like a single family being trustee, establishing a trust over their own repair. But I can't see a single entity led by Arthur being establishing a trust over the entire reparation for Negroes. I just don't understand. And I feel like I'm missing something, but that's because I feel like it's not being effectively communicated here for whatever reason. And so I guess I'll just have to, visit the website and listen a little bit more, but I'm just not, I don't think that that's been done well in this space. I don't know if that was the purpose and intention of this space, was for him to communicate that to everyone, but I just don't feel like that was effectively done. And I don't have a lot of confidence in the things that are being said in the space. And again, I wish that he could address that language and make it plain, so that, because I don't see the value in it.
Don't forget, board members change. They can be changed. He's just setting it up. He's just starting out.
We're going by hands. Yeah, I'm not trying to be funny. I think part of the significance in me, I just think that Arthur needs to be able to communicate it a little bit better, or establish persons who can affect.
Love, just real quick. Well, I'm not sure if you was in the space since we started. He did kind of communicate that, and that was the purpose of this space.
I was in here.
Right. So you gotta kind of run it back a little bit on that.
No, I've been taking notes. I've been in here since the space started.
Oh no,
what I'm saying is that I'm expressing that I'm not satisfied with the way, because he didn't even address the language within that letter, and then he kind of made it like some conversation between him and Naeem, which I didn't see the value in that either. But I'm just saying, I've been in the space. You didn't see me in here because of some technological issue, but I've been in here since the space opened, okay? And I'm saying that I've taken note, but I don't feel that it's been communicated effectively. So, and that's not something that can change just because you said he spoke on it. I heard him speak on it. I'm going to listen more, but I'm just saying, I'm not really satisfied with, I don't think it's been communicated.
Arthur, I'm assuming you have this information up on the website, right? Everything?
That's what I said. So that doesn't have to be said. I already said I'm going to visit the website. It's my personal.
No, I'm asking Arthur, does he have everything on the website? I asked him that. Yeah.
That he did.
Yeah, I have everything.
Y'all be getting the Jumbotron on the far right-hand side. All the information that's pertaining to this conversation is in the website. Y'all could go to freedmennation.org. Freedmennation.org, that is the website. So y'all could go there, y'all can log in, y'all can sign up, and make any type of personal gripes about it there. Because at the end of the day, he can sit up here and say XYZ ABC, and we can question him 1, 2, 3. That doesn't mean you're going to understand the information. So it's like, yeah, everyone got to go hit the Jumbotron, get in the website, go up there and start reading, and then engaging the information and understanding it too. Because just because you read it don't mean you understood it. But go ahead, though. No, so
is it my turn now?
Hey, Toto, you back? Yeah, I guess go ahead, sister. How you doing, sister?
Okay. Hi, Brother Arthur. This is my first time meeting you. I wasn't in here to hear the whole thing, but I will be on your website. The first thing I would like to address is the fact that, we all comprehend things on different levels. That's one thing. And like you said, DJ, maybe it might be best if you can't understand it the way he's, addressing it out here, then, we can go on the website and do it. But I'm not going to say that the brother isn't. My thing is, and DJ, you know this, I've been for a couple of years now, I have been coming on platforms and I've been saying that let's start our own Freedmen Bank. And I said, if it's just 40 million of us and we start signing contracts, get our own IDs and things like that, and if we all on those contracts promise to, have $1 taken out of our account a month, you know what I mean? Then that's like 40, or let's say 20. That's $20 million a month. And like that kind of thinking is something, and I'm not no banker, but I was like, okay, so when you think about it, and then by the time you get to the thing, we could start helping each other. We could start having our own money. But the one thing I will say, Brother Arthur, I do appreciate the fact that you have taken your time into addressing this situation, because it seemed like I was just talking to myself or being called, crazy as batshit and all this other stuff, because I was trying to bring out of the box thinking. And just because my thought process or yours is out of the box does not make us so different. Like, everybody is going to think we are. One thing about freedmen or the family, okay, Black Americans, is we are all leaders. That's one thing we are. And this is why we bump heads. But we do have to understand when our position is to stand down. And at this point, I'm going to stand down. Now, what I could do is I could say, hey, Brother Arthur, what about the idea I said? Have contracts. And it's almost like not contracts, but it's pretty much opening a bank account, that we're not allowed to withdraw from for a while. You know what I'm saying? $1 out of our pay is not going to kill us. I don't believe that, because most of us do make money. And I think with that being said, I just want to thank you, Brother Arthur. And if you want to hit me in the back channels and stuff like that, because I did make a whole, schematic of not just our banking, but even our policing ourselves, because I want reparations, and then I want to separate. Because we need to heal within a community. We are balled up. And this is perfect example of how messed up we really are. We have to
instead of downing someone, when someone comes up with an idea, let's feed the idea with our ideas. Everybody can bring them in because we are all very smart. So we can do this. It's not like we can't do this. We can do this. And I just want to thank you for your time in putting this together. And on that note, I want to land.
All right, I'm back. I'm not sure who was speaking, but go ahead. Who? Because we're gonna wrap this up in the next 10, 15 minutes, y'all. Because
let me kind of explain something. When you're beginning to build something like my invention, the fill station pillow kiosk, I started off with a prototype. I then enhanced it as I got people around me to enhance it. And then I went to a vendor who actually enhanced it even more. It's a process. I'm in that process right now. I'm in the prototype right now because it says beta on the website because I'm going through the process with the paperwork, with the functions of the website, how people are interacting with the website. It's a prototype right now, but it's functional just to give you the information that you need. When it's complete, and as y'all come into the room and see how everything works, then you have a better idea how to contribute. But right now, there's no functionality for you to show you how to contribute. The reason why I set it up as a trust versus a nonprofit is because nonprofit actually has a lot of regulations around it. A trust, under a private trust, there's no regulations around it. We can do everything and anything under the trust umbrella. That means that, for Love I Am, she may be really good at a certain area. That's her lane. She's an administrator producing results. The goal is to let you do your work. And then if you need help with the legal side of it, there's a legal workshop. If workshop. If you need help with certain areas, there's going to be professors in the Freedmen Nation. You can go over to them, ask questions and everything. When there's paperwork coming into Freedmen Nation, there's going to be clerks that will drop that paperwork inside of those work groups that y'all need to take care of. It's going to function like a town. That's how it's going to function. It's going to function like a government to our people that need help. When someone is on hard times and can't pay the light bill and everything, they communicate. That paperwork goes to here. The board approves it, and then the money goes out. It's going to run like a government. That's all it is. So right now, it's kind of hard to tell you how everything's going to function the way it's supposed to function until it actually is put together, and y'all are inside and starting to construct it. What I'm doing is laying the foundation. Y'all are going to actually put up all of the framing around that foundation. The money from the trust is going to put the roof over your head. This is how this is set up. I'm just laying the foundation. That's it. Y'all were going to do the work. The money started to come into the trust. The trust will start to pay you your reparations in a different way. Like Connie said, there's going to be McDonald's. There's going to be McDonald's Foundation. There's going to be GM Foundations. There's going to be all these different foundations dumping money into the trust. And that money's yours. And as far as the sole authority, you are the sole authority of those reparations. It's not me. It's not the trust. It's the beneficiaries of the trust is the sole authority over the reparations. Not Narc and Cobra, not IDOs, not the government. You are. That's I said this 3 times. Y'all are the sole authority. If you don't take a position and put your flag on the ground and hammer it down, people will come and take it from you. That's how business works.
All right, Arthur, let me go ahead and get the Love I Am and CC. They're going to be the last two speakers. I'm going to go ahead and give them like 2 minutes apiece, and we're going to end up closing this thing out for the night.
Hey, News Talker, can I just say hi? I didn't get to say hello to you. Yeah, I had spoke. That was me when you first came in that was speaking. And I just wanted to say hi. This is Secret Sis.
How you doing, Secret Sis? I know your voice. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Glad to hear from you as well, too. So some of our old school listeners stopping in tonight. So shout out to everybody coming up into space. Let me go ahead and get to.
It's a great idea, don't you think? I mean, you remember I had bought something like this, so somebody has to start it somewhere.
Well, it's a pretty good idea. You know, if we could, I think if we could get some of the other people that's involved, that's already in that field and have an expertise, I think it would be even better idea. I think you would actually get some real traction. But Arthur's doing this thing, so I'm just the type of person. I'm just listening, just absorbing the information. But I know it's not going to happen. But we do have some people that's already in that field that's pretty laying down a lot of work as well too. And I kind of wish that you could kind of get some people to work together. But I know, I pretty much know just listening to the discussion tonight that's not going to happen. But Arthur's got to do his thing, and everybody else in this space as well too. You got to do your own thing as well too. So we'll see how everything plays out. But let me go ahead and get to. I'm not sure who was next. Was it CC or was it Love I Am? I'm not, because I was going.
I think it was Love I Am.
Okay.
And I was going to say, CC, if you don't mind, because I get information from you, so I'm not trying to purport to be knowledgeable, okay? So I just want to say this, and then I would appreciate if you spoke after me and spoke longer, if you don't mind. But I was going to say that, number one, I would support a fund with other Black American people, so I don't want someone to come behind me and misconstrue what I was stating. So I can totally rationalize a fund with other Black American people. I cannot rationalize a trust fund with non-family members. Establishing the wrong trustee over a trust is one of the biggest mistakes that anyone setting up a trust can make. And so it goes back to my original point that we are not family. I do not know you. This is my first time hearing Arthur. I have more confidence in CC speaking on it than him, just from being in this space for the duration of time. So, and I don't have issues saying that, right? And I don't want people to come behind me and try to act like I have some motivation I'm just speaking freely in Black American spaces as I do, and see fit to. That's what I've always done. So it's nothing behind what I'm saying. It's just that I know from what I have seen in my own personal experience that.
Nope, somebody accidentally hit the mute. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
My bad, I did that, my bad.
That establishing the wrong trustee over a trust, a parent can do that. A parent can set up a trust and put the wrong child over it. And those are their children. So don't misconstrue what I'm saying, which is what I feel that J.M. Lux kind of did a little bit. Unintentionally, I don't feel like you were trying to do that, but I'm not.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't do that, sweetheart. What I was saying is we all comprehend things on different levels, right? I didn't even really get to hear all his stuff, but I was just saying it's finally time that somebody actually put boots to the ground on this actual thing, even having our own money. It's time for us to have our own money and take control, because in this country, money is power. So it's time for us to take our power back. So no, I'm not saying anything that you said is less than me or anything. We are a bunch of leaders, and we're all going to come with different ideas.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And so I'm going to do my due diligence and go into the website. But I just want to say again that I could totally get behind a fund that was accessible to Black Americans, created by Black Americans. That I can perfectly rationalize that. But starting trust fund with non-family members and securing funds based off of the status of my ancestors, that I cannot rationalize, and I haven't heard it being communicated in a way that I could get on board with. And I don't want to be scrutinized for that. I want to just be able to express that in the space and then hear more and learn more. But yeah, so that's two different things there. That's not that, and I don't even see the purpose in conflating the two. Like, having a separate fund to back organizations, to support efforts, and then having a trust fund to facilitate or allocate reparations to. Like, I think it could make more sense if a single family lineage establish their own trust. And even if there was an organization to help Black Americans do that, like establish trust for the
Hey,
Smith
love,
family.
let me get you to land your plane. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Establish trust for the Smith family, because at least they're actual verified family members. I don't, in it being done under a status, which is not a lineage, it doesn't make sense to me. Well, remember.
All right. Thank you, Love.
Love, I am. There's going to be work.
Hey, Arthur, real quick, because let me go ahead and get Cece, because like I say, I'm trying to close this space out. So let me go ahead and get Cece real quick, and then I'm gonna see if we got any time, because I'm trying to close it out. But go ahead, Cece, real quick.
Yeah, peace, love, and reparations. But let me say this. I don't purport to speak for Arthur. I'm really here on my own. This is just me being me. Love I Am just said something, and now it was really important. Well, I forgot one thing, but Arthur made it clear. Remember, sometimes you're just getting things set up. You got to launch, right? And Arthur even extended an olive branch to Naheem, and he said, hey, Naheem, I tried to talk to you guys. Like, maybe we can talk, and you could end up being a board member. He said that. Over time, like, you build some of these boards, you first start out, you got to, like, I had my cousin on there because I trust him. He's a lawyer. He's my cousin, right? But over time, what if I make a connection and I get one of the top attorneys in the world to be on my board? Like, you have to build. But having said that, I look at what Arthur's doing, and some people came and said, you know what? Love I Am, this isn't directed at you. You were the last person that spoke. But people said, Arthur couldn't articulate a lot of the answers in the way that we wanted him to. He doesn't seem to be knowledgeable about X, Y, and Z. I just want everybody to remember something. No one person is an expert on everything. So when you have a corporation, that's why you have multiple departments. That's why you have, department heads, right? And then you have various layers below that, different managers, right? You rely on other people for expertise, but somebody has an idea. And you let those people run it. And it's hard for people who haven't talked to him intimately about this to understand what he's saying is come in and be an administrator, which means come in and be a department head. If you have an area, a high-level area of expertise, you come in and you had a working group, and you guys will be the experts on that. Another problem that people are having, as am I. I don't profess to understand everything that Arthur has discussed with me or discussed in these spaces, but one thing that I do understand, there's so many moving parts. So to compartmentalize this, let's look at this and say, for those of you who are heavily involved in legislation, right, forget about everything else that he's doing. Arthur says, hey, we have a legislative arm here. So what you can do, like my organization is NCEEJ, and he's telling me, well, Connie, you can come in, and if you have a legislative campaign that you want to launch, you can come in and do that. And the beautiful thing about that is this is also a place for you to coalition build. So when I started my org, and in full transparency, Arthur's doing at least 10 things I wanted to do, 10 things I couldn't accomplish. different topic, different day, various reasons. So if I have a campaign and I'm launching that campaign and I say, hey, I want to take this to Los Angeles City Council, but I want them to know that I have support. And then Love I Am, News Toter, WPI, Ray Smith, Marcel, Kelly, all have different organizations. And I say, hey, I want to present this to you guys. Here's a piece of legislation that I think is going to be beneficial to Black American freedmen. Will you sign on to it under your organization's name? Now I've got the support of all of these other organizations from all around the country. And Los Angeles is saying, damn, these people are coming strong. That's just compartmentalizing one aspect of what he's doing. So I'm just trying to get people to understand this is just the startup phase. This is starting from the bottom. We're not coming in with $100 million in a fund. When I say we, I'm talking about freedmen. And I'm going to close with this. I am begging everyone to stop doing this. Freedmen is not an ethnicity. It is not a race. Freedmen is nothing but a legal status, a political status. When I'm doing my genealogy, so far I have 2 ancestors that died in the Freedmen Hospital. I found another 2 ancestors that had deposit slips at the Freedmen Bank. Freedmen is a class of people that the government said are emancipated persons. Those persons were mulatto, colored, Negro, Black, African American, whatever you want to call yourself. This is not saying that you are a freedman. If you don't want to call yourself freedman, it doesn't matter. If you can trace your lineage back to enslavement, that's fine. I have people in my genetics that were free persons. It's listed. They were free persons. This is about us getting not just our reparations. Arthur, to me, is doing something revolutionary. I close with this. Let's watch and see what he does. You don't have to get involved, but you don't have to tear him down. That's just like people who I don't push my org right now. But if somebody doesn't believe in my org, no skin off my back. I'm going to continue to do what I do. It is what it is. If you don't believe in the NAACP, you don't mess with them. You don't mess with the Urban League. You don't mess with the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, right? Allow this man to launch this thing. This is the problem that I have. I don't care about people's opinions. To sit up and call somebody a grifter is heartbreaking to me. That is heartbreaking when there's real grifters out there that we can say are grifters, like Al Sharpton, a proven grifter, right? You don't have to give any money to Arthur. You don't have to do nothing with Arthur. But let the man build. Peace, love, and reparations. I love you all.
All right. Thank you, CC. On that note, we're going to get ready. We're going to close this thing out because I've been up since 4-something yesterday morning. So I got to get up early again as well, too, guys. So I'm going to go ahead, DJ, real quick. I'll give you a minute, and then I'm closing this thing out. I know DJ's in here. Okay, DJ.
I'm here.
Just real quick, a minute, because I want to close this thing out.
I don't even need that much time, brother. You know what I mean? So, Arthur, we about to have this late night space, and obviously everybody still got questions. So, one question from an audience member. You don't have to answer it. Come in the late night space and answer it, please. So, News, take it down. And, the question is, will the Freedmen Fund incur interest, and if so, at what rate? Will it incur interest, and if so, what rate? The trust fund will it incur interest? So please come in the late night space and answer it. Same title will be in the room, so come on there. Come with your A gang, folks. Let's go.
It's at 4%.
All right.
All right, for sure.
Essentially, part 2 of this space, everybody. Part 2 of this space.
Yeah, part 2. On that note, we will be back tomorrow night, guys. So check DJ's late night space out. Shout out to everybody coming up in here. Peace. Lloyd, we about to close this out. DJ's about to start another space, a late night space, part 2 of this. So we'll holler at you guys. Peace. Everybody be safe. And we're out.
Peace.